making that his signature, perhaps. I feel like the hero was not particularly popular at the Animajor. We would see it be sent mid on occasion, but it's mainly just for the disarm that everyone wants. But we had doubted Viking GG before versus Enigma, and look how that turned out for us. So let's see other performance handles versus T1 with our casters, the standing Jenkins, and the sitting Sunsfan.
I didn't doubt.
Thank you very much for ruining that intro, Jenkins. My name is Sunsfan, and we found this wild animal off the streets. He refuses to sit down for reasons unknown. How are you doing, young man?
I'm good, son, man. I gotta say, it's an absolute pleasure to cast with you. Ever since Dota Cinema, Digital Chaos, I've always wanted to cast with a big millionaire guy like you, big business owner, very successful. It's gonna be a great cast today.
That's great, and you can see production just making it a real hurry here to get into the game, so we don't have to look at us anymore. As Accelerate will be spotting out the ward here, so that should be a pretty easy D ward. Whose lineup do you like here, Jenkins?
Well, Viking GG. I like Viking GG. They are using the Arkosh fan pack. I believe that is the S tier fan pack. Celery misspoke when he did his interview yesterday.
Right, everybody has been misspeaking about that apparently.
Yeah, I would agree with that. No, I like this. I like the T1 draft. I think this Lesh Nyx opener is a real pain in the ass to deal with. I mean, just think about what the heroes do together. You've got ridiculous setup stun for the Lesh. You have tower damage. You have a hero in the Nyx that wants to scout and be active and who can set up for the Lesh. They really complement each other well, in my opinion. I think that's why it's such a dangerous opener. On top of the fact that Nyx just would block the Leshrac anyway. It's one of the biggest counters to Lesh in the game.
Right. As we're going to see the bounties spawn here. Of course, T1 having a pretty good showing at the Animajor. Kez is going to be forced to swashbuckle to the high ground. And then Viking, who, you know, they've been Division 2 for this last season. They went undefeated. They played yesterday, and they destroyed Team Nigma, who also had a good showing at the Animajor. Do you think that that was maybe an isolation type thing, or do you think Viking are starting to get back up to snuff again?
No, I think Viking are really good. I watched a bunch of their replays, you know, researching for this in the one evening that we had. Of course, Nigma on our flight, they're about the same, and they look really good in their matches. Even when they lose, they tend to do well in the lanes. They tend to lose in like the mid to late game. It's never a stomp. They always do pretty well.
As we see in this top lane, Shad will be playing the Spectre, and I mean, this is the late game hero, but do they have enough to get to that late game is the real question, because Leshrac, I feel like we've seen a lot of this here in the Animajor. It's just very high tempo. You get these tower pushes really quickly. You can flash from the jungle, and then Wraith King has been pretty fast paced as well. Not really going for, again, I think like 6 months ago, we were seeing everybody go for Midas into Radiance. Now we're seeing a lot of, maybe do go Midas, you go for the armlet after, and you just start to push really fast.
Yeah, you would literally jungle for like 25 minutes before doing anything on that hero. But
that was the NA Classic.
That was the NA Classic. We were very good during that match. But no, it's good at pushing. I mean, the skeletons are... If you don't have a hero to kill the skeletons, it's so annoying to try to stop them from pushing, because you kill them once and it's like, oh, I don't have another nuke available, so they just have to slowly poke them all down, which takes forever.
Yeah, I can see the CS already early in this game. DK, my goodness, actually pretty high CS.
Does DK ever lose lanes? I feel like every single time we see this hero, he's just stomping in CS.
Yeah, but does it matter?
That's true. He kind of does the same thing regardless.
I mean, we have been seeing these Aghanim Scepter come out like in the mid game, and he's just unkillable, but we don't really see like any true damage builds. You can see Whitewan gonna get Cold Embrace by himself, but getting pressured by Kezu now. The lucky shot did connect. Armis trying to create a little space here. What do you think of the Hoodwink? Because this was another kind of NA classic that no other region was using until the anime.
I think we were the only two people that believed in that, because we were the only two people that watched NA.
That's true.
I mean, it looked good in NA. It's just it
looked okay.
It looked okay. Well, Quincy made it look good. Quincy made it look good.
Of course, they stomped every single game.
Yeah, maybe it's because of the Hoodwink, you know?
Yeah, well, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you think of this game overall?
Low cooldown stuns, that's always going to be good. I think Viking, I agree with the cost. I'm a little worried about their damage. I think that Kezu's going to have to pop off and have a really good game. Or DK, we can also have Boom pop off to do damage, but they don't just do damage by playing normal.
Right. See Kezu down here. Playing that Pangolier, a hero that we basically didn't see in the Animajor. The Panel kind of talked about it, and I don't know why it was completely... I mean, I think maybe there was 1 or 2 picks, but nothing on a consistent level.
Yeah, it's one of those heroes, like, specialty players will always play it. It really hasn't been nerfed enough to ever completely fall off. You have a lot slower move speed in the ball now, which means that it's harder to hit people, but it's longer, and it's kind of easier to chain stun them when you do hit them because you're not flying everywhere with this like super fast moving ball. So I think it's about the same as it was before, maybe a little bit worse.
And it's kind of funny because we see it in like every position basically. We've seen it at position 4 is probably the most common, but this is position 3. And then yesterday we saw Thompson play mid, and well, it was Thompson, so he did do quite well just from an individual aspect. As bottom lane, okay, we got some damage onto 23savage. He's gonna get cold embrace for now, but he's getting surrounded by Kezu, and Arm is gonna try to turn this around with his Skelly boys, and Kezu might get first blooded here if he's not careful. Pops that fairy fire. The skeletons are continuing to chase, but it looks like he should survive. And same with 23savage, although Aramis popping that scurry doesn't have anything else to finish him off though, so still no first blood.
Yeah, no spells, and this hero's right clicks are pretty pathetic, although Hoodwink does have good stat gains, so once you hit level 3, level 4, you do start doing pretty decent damage. But Pango, I think a big reason Pango is not much of a hero these days is because he just doesn't win lanes. You're just guaranteed to basically do this in the lane, which is go 15-0 to a 22-8 Wraith King. But like, this is not because Kezu isn't doing the right thing. Like, this is what Pango does in general. He just doesn't win lanes.
That's definitely true. That was a really good Dragon Tail in front of Tier 1 tower. Carl taking heavy damage as a result. Is bottling up though and should be fine. Nobody in vicinity to actually try and finish him off here.
Did you see Boom like slowly walk towards him like, oh, I'm gonna get you, and then he realized he's a Dragon Knight?
Yeah, not quite 6 yet, so the projectile stun not online, sadly for him.
I like what Carl is doing mid. He's doing some annoying thing where he's using every edict to just harass the tower, because what's the point in harassing a DK? He's just gonna regen up. Right. And you know that DK is also gonna do the same thing to your tower when he gets the ult. You just pop it and tank tower shots and slowly whittle it down. So Carl's like responding to that preemptively, which is really cool. I've actually never seen a Leshrac do that before against DK.
And to talk about the offlaners again, we have Cuckoo on the Tidehunter, who, again, he's basically solo against a Spectre right now, so he is getting ridiculously good farmers. We're going to see Boom finally pop that ult, gets level 6, and that's going to be first blood as Armis takes that for himself. Zephyr takes the tumble, but now Armis taking heavy damage. Next, that pulse number from Carl into the split earth. Celery's in the vicinity as well. It's not going to matter, though. Carl should be able to get this. A double kill to him. Trying to take out this Wild Wing Ripper. Will be successful for now, but will Celery fall as well as the question, but a TP support with Pango himself. And yeah, Kezu finally gets the trade, but it cost him 2 of their members' lives, and the rotation from Kezu needed.
Dude, Carl was thinking the same thing that I was. You just like chat up there and oh, that's
no.
Sorry about that.
Very sad.
Oh, poor animal. Is that an animal? It's a disgusting little imp.
Everything is an animal, so
that's not true.
Okay.
Consider fungus.
But you're calling that thing a fungus?
Maybe.
Okay.
You know they're very intelligent.
Pretty sure that you're the fungus here.
No, they can solve.
Mistaken.
They can problem solve. Anyway.
Okay. Well, you have to teach me this some other times. I almost called you Cinderin. Jenkins.
God.
Sorry. Apologies. Almost gave you a compliment there. But yeah, back to this off lane. Kezu obviously had to be forced to go to the mid lane. His CS not so good. You talked about Pango just not being that great of a laner. But in the meantime, Cuckoo is just having a completely free game on Tide.
Yeah, I think that's a big reason they picked the hero. Spectre, Enchantress, or Spectre Hoodwink. Like none of these combinations is going to pressure a Tide at all. You just go 2 points of Kraken Shell and they do 0 damage to you. Rotates top. Oh, okay.
We're going to see the Haunt come out. They really want 23savage, and looks like he will fall here. Celery in the area as well. But like you said, top lane did get pushed, so it'll be a trade of sorts. Of course, this is kind of the standard for any flesh mid.
He has 15 XP from level 6. He is so sad right now. If he had killed like 1 more creep, he just gets 6, and then his team TPs in response to that death.
Whitemon. Oh, doesn't look like the Bushwhack will connect for Armis. He's level 5 right now. Looks like they'll defend this tower for now, but will they actually try to push with anybody else in the vicinity? Yeah, they're going to get surrounded here. A lot of Viking members are on the way down.
Whitemon's got to be careful. I mean, he's not even close to 6, so unless he has a courier coming out with the Tom, now it's 7 minutes. That's not it.
Yeah, they might just be giving up this tower, but will they find him in the meantime? Don't have vision right now. The Tomato tanking up the tower a little bit.
Radiant structures
He has only 1 point in Splinter Blast, so this defense, he needs help here. Okay, there's Cuckoo.
On the way now, Whitemont. Now with Cuckoo here, level 7, I mean, he doesn't have a top lane anymore because that tower's already pushed, so we'll see if he can actually successfully defend here. Very tanky, 2 levels of Kraken Shell.
Man, they can actually bait this, though, because Whitemont's in position here. They don't know he's there, and he's got 2 points in Bolt Embrace, and he's holding the 3rd.
Oh, they might spot him here in just a moment. Oh, still inside the tree line, though.
He's being so annoying.
Yeah, this is, okay. Well, fair enough. But I don't think Viking are actually going to commit any harder than that, at least not yet. As Boom pops that Dragon Knight ult again. They're just trying to tick away at the tower. And with Celery's help, we'll see if they can be successful at that.
Yeah, the creep is so nice for tanking towers, but unfortunately for Viking, it's 9 minutes in, so there are a decent amount of heroes that can deal with this thing. It's not as potent as when you run at the tower at like 4 or 5 minutes. Carl just walks up and they have to walk away.
Yeah, this is a hero that I feel like I'm just surprised. I mean, I know you only get 2 bans each in the first phase, but I feel like this hero should be banned more often.
Enchantress?
No, well, sure, Enchantress too, I guess. I mean, there's just too many heroes. So I was talking about Leshrac. It just feels like always has a good game.
Yeah, I agree. I think with the Nyx opening, it looks really good. It looks a lot better when you have Nyx with the Lesh.
Yeah, we have an Edict here, but Viking have come to defend. Kenzu with that ult coming out with the Sharpshooter on top. This looks to be a potential kill, but there's a Winter's Curse. But Bushwhack into the tree, beautifully done. And it looks like Viking will be able to get 2 kills on this defense.
That was super nice execution there. Just stunning the Tide, doing absolutely no damage to him, so he can't crack and shell it off, and the Ravage can't come out. So you can focus down to Leshrac. And then the Curse, I mean, that didn't help. That just caused more chain stuns to happen. That was good for Kezu. I'm sure he was happy about that.
Regeneration.
Cuckoo's able to steal that regen rune away. I mean, in terms of like the pace of the game, are you favoring one team or the other right now? Because Shad, he's having in terms of farm, he's doing pretty well right now. As I say that, of course, the Split Earth will connect into Diabolic and the Impale. All right, Caster's Curse is real. Now what do you think,
There it goes. I think this favors T1, absolutely. No, I think you're always cool with this if you don't have like the pressure lineup. You're kind of fine if the towers aren't going down, which presumably is why they're putting so much emphasis on defending these towers, so that way they're not, because their heroes are not that great at taking towers. I mean, they have the DK, but you have Spectre, you have a Pango who needs the ulti. It's really just the DK, so if you can defend towers and kind of slowly poke away at their towers, I think you're pretty happy if you're Viking right now.
Middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, and for Shad on the Spectre is going for the Echo Saber build that we've been seeing so often on basically a lot of these heroes that just don't feel like they should be Echo Saber carriers, but the stats that come with it really good. And obviously if you're in Desolate range. I mean, the extra slow is nice, I suppose, but this seems to be like one of the items of the patch, along with the Eon Disc, of course.
Yeah, one of the most annoying things on Spectre is the fact that you can farm pretty fast with Spectral Dagger. It's just that it didn't feel like there were any items that felt good to build on the hero that would give you the ability to spam out the dagger for your jungle camp.
It was previously Blade Mail, but then they changed the recipe for that, right?
Exactly. Blade Mail, people have tried Soul Ring, people even went Meteor Hammer, but those are all kind of like meme builds, even when they were good.
We have the Acorn shot into the Bushwhack. Shad is here as well. Sharpshooter does connect. This looks to be the end of Zephyr, although he's not really taking that much damage from Shad right now, but will be enough regardless, and probably the tier 1 to follow. But this will cost them potential tier 1 mid in the meantime. Carl with the dive off, he'll get it. Rolling Thunders here though from Kezu. See if they can defend again. Gets off a couple procs into the Bushwhack again, but the Cold Embrace does heal him up pretty nicely. Sets up the easy stuns from Kezu, but there's really no follow-up damage right now. As the Ravage finally comes out, it's going to hit 2 heroes into the Split Earth, into the Wraith Fire Blast. 23savage is like, okay, well, I was jungling, but I'll get the free kill, I guess.
Very patient from both sides. You can see that Boom, without the DK form, he was kind of angling to walk up and stun Cuckoo, but Cuckoo was keeping his distance, and presumably if Boom had walked up and gotten stun range, he might have Ravaged. It's one of those situations where maybe if you're Boom, the play is to walk up and force the Ravage while Kezu's rolling, because holding that Ravage and using it right after the roll, it's just a free kill on Kezu.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on, I feel like I kind of agree with what the panel was talking about in terms of Vikings lineup, that they don't really, until Spectre has items, they don't really have any damage. Like the Sharpshooter has been pretty clutch so far, but aside from that, like not a whole lot of burst. As we're gonna see the smoke here.
I don't know, can they...
Yeah, the blink into the Dragon Tail with that Elder Dragon form. He is broken, so again, the Sharpshooter showing its value. And it did take basically the whole team of Viking, but they do get Cuckoo in the end.
Okay, I definitely underestimated how good that break was on Tidehunters, and I say that as a Hoodwink fan. I like this hero a lot. I mean, that requires decent execution. I guess with the DK stun, it's easier to set up because it just sets up for the entire duration. Actually, DK has only 1 point to Dragon Tail. Breathe Fire, Max, Dragon Blood.
All right.
Max.
Maybe recognizing that they don't have a ton of burst, but yeah, you're right. Like the Dragon Tail has been kind of the... Again, after so many years of Dragon Knight, the different build has arisen. But he's actually going for more of a standard.
I suppose it's like the mid DK build. He's going for the nuke to scale and to farm quicker, and you know he's going to get the level, so it does make sense. Maybe you don't need to go for this utility Dragon Tail stun, but I have seen people go for extra points of Dragon's Blood from the mid lane. But once again, it seems like they're okay with just slowly poking away at towers and kind of waiting for the late game Spectre to come online before they do anything too hasty.
Yeah, and 23savage, I mean, it's 14 minutes in. He has his armlet working on the Radiance next. And I would assume once that comes online, that's when they will start to get a lot more aggressive. I mean, Cuckoo's side, he has his hood and going for a Yule Scepter. Okay.
Huh.
What's the Yule Scepter for?
That is interesting. Yule Scepter Tidehunter.
Radiant are scanning.
I mean, oh, it's to dispel the Hoodwink Shark.
Oh, okay.
It's interesting, though, because I was talking about this with Sinan last week, as I might have to hold this thought here. We have a smoke, this time from T1, Cuckoo. Gonna get off the Gush to start things off. Acorn shot into the Bushwhack. Carl on the other side of the river, though, so Celery might be the sacrifice if they could just slow him down. And with that stun, we'll ensure the kill. Eventually. There we go.
Max heal, but still
in the company. Looks like they're just all going to retreat, so likely no more kills to come. But I always thought that just in general, breaks were not dispellable, but apparently it's a case-by-case basis.
It's case-by-case,
Sharpshooter is the only one now that is dispellable.
See, I was thinking maybe he'd go for a Lotus instead, because, you know, you're right. That's like already a good item, but I suppose he wants it faster than he would get a Lotus Orb. And I really like this play, by the way, from T1. This is a super nice play where the minute mark just passed, you just got to kill. So you walk into the enemy triangle and take their camps, and now there's a whole minute where the safest place on the map for Viking has no farm. So now they have to farm in this like bot lane area, and this is where T1 can kill them.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think the main reason he's going for the Yules over the Lotus, like you said, to get it early, but I think that kind of aligns with the timing of the Wraith King with that Radiance going to be coming online. I think they would just want to make sure that they're around the same time.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. That does make a lot of sense. And I don't think it's a particularly bad Lotus game or Yules game either. I think using like DK is annoying for him to just create some distance between you and him. You can use the Pangolier, who's going to be trying to get the roll off, and just interrupting that in general for Pango is annoying. It's not even about getting stunned. It's about like every single time you wind that thing up, getting interrupted.
Yeah, and in theory, dispels shield crash, I guess.
Yeah, true. And, you know, that's an underrated spell, man. People go in, shield crash, 90% damage reduction, you waste a bunch of crap on Pango.
Yeah.
I'd gladly hit something.
Still a little situational, depending on how he actually plays it, because sometimes you just get that off during Rolling Thunder anyway, so you can't really use it. But
yeah.
Carl, going to be taking some nice jungle creeps here. Cuckoo, not afraid of anybody. With Zephyr by his side, I don't blame him. There's the Winter's Curse, so this is a technical counter to the Pangos. We're going to see the Sharpshooter connecting Kezu, trying to finish him off, but the Breathe Fire's not even going to be enough on top of that, but they're going to lose their chances to start this out. Tail connects onto the Spectre, into the Ravage onto 2, and they're focusing everything they have onto Shad, but a beautiful Bushwhack connecting on 3 members of T1, and now Shad, into the trees he goes. Question is, will he get out? And yeah, they're not even going to look for him. They just assume the Spectral Dagger or TP was out.
This game, to me, looks a lot more like the Animajor than some of the other games that we've seen with other teams. I like the fights are so incredibly high skill, where you can see that the Hoodwink doesn't walk into the Winter's Curse and uses the ultimate to try to kill the Winter Wyvern, but the Winter Wyvern heals right at the same time. You have the backline protection coming in from T1. The Tidehunter protects the Winter Wyvern just as he's about to die. Like, this is all super good stuff from both teams.
Yeah, I think the Hoodwink, the reason that she's been kind of showing her prowess is the fact that she can do this.
Yeah, look at this Ravage.
From such long range.
Look at this. Look at the backline protection. Yeah, this is so good.
It was a good Ravage, but you can see the Hoodwink from above, and this was the huge Bushwhack that basically saves Shad overall. Yeah, but the fact that you can do this from the trees, you can do it from such far range. A lot of time you see the Aether Lens come online for Hoodwink. if you can just get value out of sharpshooter breaking something, then it just becomes a really good pick in general.
I agree. I agree. Yeah. Like I said, the fight looks really weird because both teams just play it really well, protecting their teammates. So like 2 people died when it should have been a lot more.
Yep. As we see, Armis, as we praise him, will die. Although getting saved for now from Kezu and the scurry online. Okay.
The bait?
I mean, he'll survive.
Radiant's current.
Acorn shot comes out. Boom. They might want to fight, but from T1's perspective, 23savage is still a recipe away from Radiance, about 1,000 now away from finishing that. I feel like they don't want to commit too hard until that comes online.
He's just been kind of whacking creeps this entire time, hasn't he?
He's that's what you do.
Chilling. I think I'm worried for Viking on that timing. I think that, especially with his Yule's pick up too now, we don't have the break to just insta-give the Tidehunter. So this will be a very strong timing from T1.
And we can see Diffusal getting closer and closer. It's actually going to be a double Diffusal. That's pretty cool. So Kezu is actually going for that on the Pangolier, which for an offlane, that's a little unusual, right? I feel like that if you play it mid, it's a little bit more common.
We did talk about the fact that they need damage, and I think going for this Diffusal potential Maelstrom build will help you do that. And I also just think Diffusal as an item got significantly better for these non-illusion heroes with the buff to the mana burn. The mana burn to damage, that is. So Kezu's going to do a ton of damage, and I think if Pango does come back into the meta, this might be the item on him. It might be like a second item. Maybe it's a first item. I'm not entirely sure. This game is a very different game with the Wraith King being in the game, but this is definitely the item on Pango.
Yeah, you got double Diffusal against both Wraith King and even Lesh to some degree. It's obviously very good because of Pulse Nova, but Eternal Shroud is online, though, for Carl on Lesh, as we see. Smoke here from Viking. All right, it's going to be broken here by Zephyr. They're going to pop the dust, but there's the instant initiation from Boom. Nice bushwhack again onto 2, but the heal onto Zephyr for now will keep him safe. Carl, in the meantime, getting hit by Kezu's ult. Looks like Zephyr might be the first to fall. Sharpshooter does not connect. I think that's the first miss we've seen all game. Kezu continue on. Now, Ravage finally comes online after that Rolling Thunder, and it looks like Shad will take a tumble, but another beautiful bushwhack, unfortunately for Viking, does not save their position 1. Wraith King's first life is down. Celery's going to get connected by that split Earth. This will be another easy kill for T1 as they continue on. Viking on full retreat without that Spectre. Boom. In the vicinity, though, we see another bushwhack come online. Holds back 23savage for now, but I don't think that anything else will likely come from this. Still only a 1K net worth lead for T1. You can see, okay, Boom. With the blink, Sharpshooter
so close.
Just disconnects there, yeah. I think the Kraken Shell activated, messed that timing up.
Yeah, ironically, that's what he was trying to just break.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that was, once again, a fight that was executed really well by both sides. Cuckoo, with the patience on his Ravage, he had like a 3 or 4-man Ravage there, just solidifying that fight, saving his team. And he wasn't, it could have been really easy to be impatient with it because his entire team is at like 10-20% HP. So I could see somebody just blowing that before the Pango gets the roll-off. And Kezu, on the other side, the chain stuns. I mean, he had like 3 people during that fight. That was insane.
We have to say the patience overall from Tide to wait to Ravage until after Rolling Thunder was actually done.
Yeah, look at this chain stun from Kezu. And then like he can Ravage on Tide, and he waits. He's just patient because he knows the roll's about to end, and he wants to hit everybody with it, and he does.
He actually swashbuckled back into the Ravage. That was crazy.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
If Shad was a little bit tankier here, they could have reset and they could have turned this around. This was not like a remotely imbalanced fight by any means. It was pretty close overall.
And you want to talk about impact? Whitemon with the... there he goes.
Oh my, all right.
Caster Curse.
Boom. Yep, kills off the praised Whitemon right there. Gets off that BKB. Kezu with another stun. Actually puts Tidehunter onto the high ground. That's definitely not what he wanted. We'll see if Viking wants to get out of here. But Shad is now in the vicinity. See the Diffusal coming here as well. Splitter does connect, though. Getting surrounded, of course, next to trees. You have to be careful, but now he's going to turn around with the right click from 23savage, but they're going to be able to destroy Leshrac. And that's another first life, but Shad extremely low here. The Anchor Smash finishes him off, and 23savage with that Radiance is going ham right now. They are taking out the supports for now. Triple Impale, and now 23savage can just beat the crap out of these kids. Gets the double kill to start things off. Boom. Pretty tanky overall, but he's just getting controlled to a high degree. And this looks like a definite one fight for T1. And the curse actually cancels the TP here. So Celery lives for quite a while, but 23savage and company cleaning up nicely.
Yeah, I mean, I can't help but feel like if there was a blade mail on Spectre, these fights would be just going completely the opposite direction because there's so much AoE damage that's going out that is just slowly wiping Viking.
So you think a blade mail instead of the Echo Saber?
I mean, I think the Echo Saber is just generally a better item these days, so it might not work out. But I'm saying, like, if I'm the Spectre in this game, I look back and I think, okay, what could have happened? Because those fights, man, like they're so damn close. And what a nice 3-man stun, as well as 23savage. He was completely out of mana, and he used like 15 wand charges. If he mistimed that even slightly, the guy's just dead with no ulti because of these diffusals.
Yeah, you can see Viking here just trying to do everything they can to take out Carl. They do successfully get him, but it costs them literally everybody after this. As we can see, the Impale
look.
about to come out in ultra slow motion.
Yes.
Frame by frame.
He had 20 HP when he pressed his wand.
Oh, I see, yeah.
If he mistimes that, even look, he had 52 to spare. I mean, that's not an easy thing to do against. There's 2 heroes with a diffusal hitting you.
Yeah, that is true.
That's incredibly hard.
And now he can just go for that shard, so where you don't have to worry about your mana capacity at all in these fights.
I hate that we're looking at a Wraith King being like, what a high skill player. But that really was high skill.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
And now he's got the shard, so he's good. He's Gucci.
Yeah, he has the shard now, and that was a fight where Zephyr did not have Aghanim Scepter. He does now. We've been seeing a lot of first item just with boots. Aghanim Scepters on these Nyxes, as they're just going to run into Celery, blow them up real quick. So this gives you like the long-range siege, if you will, with that burrow ability. Just upgrades literally all of your abilities here. I think it's 40% damage reduction as well. It's just such a strong item.
I think it's 50 now. I think they buffed it. Yes, 50% damage reduction. It's so hard to kill him in the whatever the hell it's called, burrow.
I mean, it's really good for high ground defense. How do you feel it works from like pushing high ground?
Radiant's courier
I think anytime you want to control an area and you have Nyx plus the Shrek, the amount of chain stun that comes up from the Nyx Ags and the Shrek Shard, it's stupid. It's one of those combos that, once again, I understand why people first face these 2 heroes together. There's so much that they complement each other, and there's so much that one does that the other completely lacks. So it's such a good opener.
That's true. Not ready to quite go high ground yet. Obviously, Roshan #1 has not been taken out, so see if T1 wants to get a pick off here with this smoke. Armis being kind of annoying here. That's Scurry. Yep, he's going to get the Yules off. Does Cuckoo into the Impaling. Oh my, okay. 23savage with the 1 shot essentially.
Yeah, I didn't even see him hit there because of the Hyperstone plus armor attack speed.
That will open up the Roshan. And all right, that's the buyback. So this indicates Viking definitely know that this is happening and they want to defend. But the question is, can they successfully do so? It's down 5k right now.
It's tough to fight into this Nyx Ags right now. You're going to need to take some really important backline pick. I think you need to smoke and get the Winter Wyvern. Or jump with like the DK plus Spectre at the same time.
And T1's being very disciplined here. Not forcing anything. As I say that, they go into the Roche pit and are not forcing it. I mean, they're just super strong right now, so I can't really blame them in the end. Only 4 kills ahead, but it is 4k net worth.
Yeah, those 4 kills were that one team fight that they got like the 4 to 5k gold lead. I would want to fight here if I'm T1. It's like, come on, come fight us. This is our territory.
I mean, with this buyback, it feels like Viking have basically said that they are going to defend this. We hear the Rolling Thunder come out. Roshan is not quite dead yet, and Kezu inside the pit, not able to really connect on anybody. Sharpshooter comes out, but not really going to do too much. And now with the Rolling Thunder down, that is a big team fight spelled down overall, and this will just mean T1 gets the Aegis.
Once again, patience from T1. I mean, we're seeing a lot of nothing happening in this game, like visually nothing. But it's to bait something. You know, like Whitemon standing in the trees on bot lane, he was baiting the Tide. In that situation, they're baiting out the spells so that way they could go into Roche after the roll is down. There's no way Viking, I mean, this is an excellent team. There's no way these guys are going to fight if they don't have the Pango roll and the Sharpshooter. So you just bait it out, you literally wait, don't get hit by it, and then go in. It's nothing happening, but it's like it's good nothing happening if you're a T1 fan.
Yeah, for sure. Now they're just going to starve the map, and the question is, how much can they get with this first Aegis? Typically, we never see the... I shouldn't say never, but the games don't seem to end until second Roche a lot of the time. That seems to be the game ender in a majority of the games, at least that we cast in the Animator, but...
Oh, are they going to try to kill Carl twice?
Okay. Yep, Shad is in the vicinity. You see the break come out. Not really going to do much against the Leshrac, as with that, they are very scared right now. Viking on the run. Zephyr, not going to spot. Oh, he actually does. That was a pretty long TP. The Celery again gets a, I think that's a second canceled TP. I think that would be a 2-star achievement in Dota Plus. Sadly, doesn't work in lobbies. I know you're a big Dota Plus activist.
Huge Dota Plus activist here. Yeah, I'm a silver tier pudge with over 1,500 games.
I think that's probably true.
I don't know how people level that up. I'm going to be totally honest. I see these pro players, Grandmaster.
Yeah.
Why are they how are these guys ranked 20 and
They do their quest.
And they're questing in pubs. I don't understand that.
The problem I have is when you play a hero and they tell you what item to get and you don't want to buy that item, right? That's when it feels like it's ruined. It's Celery again.
You just ignore it. I mean, just don't do it.
I need the quest, though.
You're right. That is a long TP.
Yeah, I don't... Was he TPing to...
Maybe Outpost?
Yeah, maybe.
Radiant
Either way, that is the second cancel TP this game. And with that, they're going to try to go high ground. Okay, boom, pops that ult, pops the BKB as well. Look at Zephyr. It's been 4 steps back into the enemy base, and he drops dead. So 50 seconds of no Nyx Assassin. Spectre showing off his BKB, gets Winter's Curse for the time being. And now the right clicks from the Dragon Knight. He's actually completely surrounded. Finally, the Ravage comes out. Whitemon looks to be living through this engagement. And Kezu finds Whitemon again, gets the shield crash out. See if he can do more damage on top of this. Swashbuckles are starting to add up. Finally get the first life onto 23savage, but they're going to just turn this around now. Just 2 farms on this Wraith King, but they have lost 2 members to 1 only for Viking. And Carl is completely out of mana. Has his Essence Shroud, but see if he can get any mana on top of that. They're going to completely surround the Wraith King now. This will be a huge kill for Viking in the trees. Sharpshooter connect. Oh, he missed. And the impetus with the right click from Chad is enough. And now the focus is onto Carl. This is a huge fight for Viking for sure. This, of course, is the Aegis, so they have to kill him twice. And even once apparently seems to be quite the difficulty.
I think they're questioning it because they know if he comes back, he has full mana. So
Zephyr's here as well. Yeah, very nicely played. Gets up the spike carapace. Here we see the Rolling Thunder is going to connect onto the Nyx Assassin. They're going to lose the Hoodwink for now, but continuing to stun in place. I mean, you're Burrow. That's a free stun if you are Kezu in this case. 4-step up to the high ground. Zephyr doing so much work right now. You can see that he's just getting so much regen as well. Now they're going to turn this around onto Spectre. Split Earth connect. Zephyr's still quite low. Shiva's pop from Karl, and they will actually get him in the end. Dragon Knight's going to be back in 5 seconds. Another Winter's Curse. And I believe this is the second BKB that we've seen used in this fight. Very extended fight overall. Yule's into Split Earth. And Karl, some way, somehow, not only lives, but helps get multiple kills on the back end.
All right. I gotta commend Viking for that. Just the way that they're trying to play team fights is so incredibly smart. This is why they have 2 defusals. They're literally just playing to take these slow fights and burn all of the mana of all of these T1 heroes, and then because the mana is burned, they don't have to worry about Carl going in and doing all of this damage, and they're just killing the backlines. You saw that they literally ignored him in that fight. Think of a Tidehunter. Like, you don't really want to kill this hero, right? Because he's got this Kraken Shell. It's a pain in the ass to kill him. So burn his mana. He's got 900 mana versus 2400 HP in Kraken Shell. Same with the Wraith King. If this hero's not stunning people, well, he's okay, but especially this Leshrac. If you just burn the Leshrac's mana, you don't have to worry about him doing anything. You don't have to worry about the Aegis, because if Leshrac doesn't have mana, he's completely useless. It's such a cool way of taking team fights. Like, you can win a fight without actually killing anybody.
Wait, are you saying that Viking won that fight?
Yeah.
You really think so?
Yeah. I mean, it was a 4K goldie to start. That was 3K at the end. Now they're losing, but...
It basically evened out, I feel like. It's like ended up being a wash.
I mean, it evened out. You're fighting into an Aegis team that has a lead,
That's
right?
true.
So I think... regardless of who won or lost, I think the way that Viking is playing a fight is incredibly cool.
No, that is interesting to hear.
All of these games that we've seen from Viking so far looks like they're... I don't know what changed with their captaining, or if it's just been like this since I watched them in DPC Season 1, but it looks like they have a really solid idea of how to play Dota together, and they're all on that same page, which is so awesome to see.
So Aegis is now gone, but Carl, Diabolic Edict, and some help from his friends able to take out this Tier 2 mid. And they've extended the lead now to 6K, so definitely not insurmountable from Viking's perspective. as let's see what Shad's item progression is. So we saw the BKB, obviously had the defuse a long time ago with the Echo Saber, has the Manta on top of that, and we're going for Scotty right now. What do you think of the BKB on Spectre? It's not something we see all too often.
I suppose it's a way to deal with these ridiculous chain stuns that are coming out. Tide Hunter, you kind of need a BKB against in general just to avoid the Ravage, as well as the Anchor Smash, damage reduction. Leshrac, obviously you need a BKB, which by the way, Leshrac is going stats. He has no points in Lightning Storm. That's a Chad build. That's the way to play this hero these days.
Yeah, I mean, casting Lightning Storm sometimes feels like it's counterintuitive for the hero.
Yeah.
You want to be up close and personal and moving around all the time.
Yeah, it does. It does. And I really like this build on Lesh too. This Eternal Shroud Shivas plus Kai and Sanj, and he's got an Essence Ring as well. Like, they're building really tanky on T1 because, well, if you're winning, you build tanky, and the enemy team can't kill you, and you do damage with levels and with spells.
For sure. I mean, talk to me about Shad's build again, though, because, again, I'm not... These feel like... How do I put this?
You don't like his build. You think
it feels like medium items. And then okay, you get this Scotty, then what? You replace Echo Saber with something? You know what I mean?
I guess that my question is, like, what's the replacement on Spectre?
Yeah, boom. Getting initiated on, pops the BKB and just TPs out.
Yeah, no basher or anything, so pretty free TP with the BKBs.
Yeah, I assume you sell the Echo Saber after that, right? And then beyond that, I don't know, because it feels like you're not scaling as well as you could be with a lot of the Spectre builds we've seen in the past.
I think one place where the build could be improved is it's so slow.
Impale and there we go. They got him. It was slow.
Oh, okay.
Oh, all right. This will be a huge call to latch. We can see a big ult from Kezu. He has that shard in place as well. Carl pops the Bloodstone, which was just picked up recently, healing up to a high degree, and then the Cold Embrace on top of it. He is actually very healthy now, and this means Viking probably on the retreat. Man, that is a lot of heal coming out, I'll tell you what. Shad at half HP, Savage. He's off the Wraith Fire Blast into the Split Earth, and absolutely a kill. 85 seconds of no Shad.
Whitemon is like the secret MVP of this game. Every single time, he's just making these fights impossible to take for Viking. They're trying to play these slow, overtime fights, and Whitemon is like, okay, well, I'm just going to get Cold Embrace off 5 times during the fight.
Cold Embrace with Holy Locket and the level 10 talent for the Cold Embrace heal.
It's nuts. And his positioning has just been really good. Like, everything that we saw in that bottom lane, where he was like running through the trees, has been reflected in these team fights as well. He is just not putting himself in a position where he can die, and it's making these fights impossible for Viking.
23savage Company looks like they want to go for the Enchantress yet again. Break does come online to Tide, but he doesn't even bother using. Has the Refresher, actually. Oh my, he is quite farmed indeed.
This is a sick build. I love this build.
You can see the Assault Kuros now online for 23savage, so pushing will be that much easier for them. Still 30 seconds, no Spectre. He does have buyback now, but they've already lost this rack, so we'll just chillax for now.
How do you fight into this Nyx Ags with a Tide, 2 Ravages?
What is your theory on this Nyx Ags that hasn't really changed over the last year and a half or so? Why is it now being picked up like every single game on this hero?
There's a few things. Number one, I think that the way that Dota players formulate what's good is that they do it based off of feel, and then they slowly figure out why something feels good. So my reasoning for why this might feel good is that there's a lot of heroes that can pair with it and that do chain stuns. Oh, Kezu.
Yeah, Kezu, the Impale's going to connect with a nice bushwhack counter initiation from Aramis. Has his sharpshooter out as well. But again, Kezu getting stunned, pops the BKB, finally going to try to turn this around. But the big Ravage comes out for Cuckoo. That's the first life onto 23savage. Can they kill him again is the question. Kezu's still in that ult form, using that shard to a very high effectiveness. They're going to lose the Hoodwink to start things out. Impale onto 2 heroes. This thing is such long range. Kezu just continuing to roll. Finally gets the Winter Wyvern. That's a pretty high value kill, but the stun, they're going to get Spectre again. This is a huge kill for T1, and he still doesn't have buyback. He had it originally, but not anymore. Not sure what he bought, but Kezu gets off that shard. Bouncing up. And there's the second Ravage on the rest of Viking. Kezu's forced to buy back into the game. This looks to be the end of game 1. in all likelihood. Although the Swashbuckle dealing quite a bit of damage with that Diffusal. They want to continue on here.
And once again, another 4-man Ravage from Cuckoo. He's just being really patient. He used the first Ravage, and so, you know, you could argue that's not a patient Ravage or whatever. He used it about when you would expect. But then the second one, it's like he had Refresher for the entirety of that fight. He could have easily ravaged like 2 or 3 heroes, but he didn't need it. He thought that he trusted that his team was fine without it until he could hit the Ravage on literally every single hero that was remaining alive, which obviously is incredibly game-winning.
Yeah. We'll see the second Roche will be a freebie for T1. Shard will come online. Always interested to see who they give this to. Leshrac Shard has been very common. I think Tithe is actually great. In this game, it doesn't really matter.
You don't need building damage.
I know, but in theory, it's a good Shard.
I agree. I think you give it to Lesh for the chain stun.
Yeah. He's going to take the Aegis, the Cheese, and the Shard is there. And yeah, he'll take that as well. All right, everything for Carl.
I gotta say, Carl's pretty quick at like micromanaging his inventory. You see a lot of these pro players, they're like rank 10, and still like they're, you know, slowly dropping and picking things up, or using arrow keys if you're Matumba man.
Is that true?
He does first camera, yeah.
Oh my, that's
yeah,
pretty rough.
Apparently a lot of carry players do.
They're arrows. For like moving their...
Literally the arrow keys, yeah.
How is that literally possible? Is Carl? All right, looks like we'll actually not connect here. See the Aghanim Scepter is online for Boom. He's going to get initiated on. He's already at half HP. Supposed to make him tank here. That's not going to happen, though. BKB pop doesn't matter. He is dead for 80 seconds. This is going to be a second set of racks for T1. Viking still looking to fight, though. 5 versus 4. Shad pops a Manta. You can hear the Rolling Thunder coming online as well. There's the Haunt as well. This is the last-ditch effort from Kezu and company. A nice roll-in overall to start things out, but they have to dodge this split Earth. It's like a little mini-game inside Dota now. He's going to get a nice ult again, connecting up to 2 heroes. That's just the first life on 23savage. It just feels like there's just not enough damage right now, and obviously being down 26k might have something to do with that. And Celery, the corner of his base, ain't happening.
Yeah, they're trying to play these extended fights by burning everybody's mana. And then Zephyr and 23savage are just like, okay, that sounds fine to me. Just getting rid off every 2 seconds.
Yeah.
They call G. Oh, they call G.
Yeah, they call it GG.
I see.